How's everybody doing out there? This is Bass 66 Chevelle's here, and I'll show you the progress here. This is what I've gotten done so far on this 302 here. I got our heads back on. I got the heads torqued down. I went ahead and got the valves adjusted. I flushed the block out. I filled it back up with oil. I got our intake installed. I made sure, and as far as I know, verified that we have the correct intake manifold gaskets, because on these Fords you have to be careful about that and watch out for that, because some of them take different intake manifold gaskets. And I'll tell you, these Fords are kind of tricky. The head gaskets, make sure the open sides are in the back on both sides. One gasket, what they don't tell you, as far as I know, is this side is actually flipped, because the way these gaskets were made is they got these apparently had the front on both sides, and then this side you actually turn that one to the front like you're supposed to. On that side I actually had to flip it. It's still the front on it, but I had to flip it the other way. I had to go that way, so there's a little trick to it. But basically just make sure them ports on the back on them head gaskets, the open sides are open. That's the main thing when I'm talking about. Or here's an old head gasket. This is one of them that came off. This actually came off the driver's side. But make sure these open sides are to the back of the firewall on both sides. See, these are closed, these are open. So this one lays in there just like that on the driver's side, with these open ports back here facing that way against the firewall. So that side goes like that. On the passenger side, it's actually flipped like that. See, they're still in the back, but it's flipped. I had to make sure these intake gaskets were right, because you got to watch out. These ports, these coolant ports, are different as well. So these Fords are a little tricky. You know, now I'm learning as I go. But end up finding that out at a local machine shop. But anyway, this is where we're at right here. I got that bolt out back there. Is that one way back there, not that particular bolt, but one of them had broke off in the head, and I got that out. I welded a nut on it and got that out, so I was able to get that out and save that. So I'm still short, so now I gotta find a bolt for right here to install in here. But this is where we're at. I got the valves adjusted, got the heads back on, I got them clean. I got them clean as I could possibly get them. I just took oven cleaner and cleaned the living heck out of them. And I put them back on, put new head gaskets on it, made sure everything was right. And another way to tell is make sure these ends down in here, I seen in my book here that they're facing out. That's how to verify that they're in the correct location, which they are. And what else we did? We put new valve cover gaskets on. I cleaned the valve covers up. I painted them. I painted the intake as well. Everything's the exact same as what was on here before. I just cleaned it up and painted it. I'm not sure, like I said, that head for some reason is darker than everything else. I'm not sure why it did that, but I'll have to go back, and I'm gonna probably just, once I get everything done on it, I'm gonna just paint the whole motor. That way it all look right, but it ain't a big deal. It's got a newer thermostat in it. I'm verified. I cranked it over. We have compression on all cylinders. I'm not sure how good of compression, but we definitely have compression on all the cylinders. I cranked it over. It's been oil primed. Went ahead, because I took that gas and I flushed the heck out of this motor. It's still got a lot of trash in it, but I got the majority of it out. And I took and filled up with fresh oil. And I'm going to go on and get this thing the rest of the way together. And then I'm going to run it, of course. And our oil is nice and clean now. It's hard to see it, but anyway, you can see if you look on that radiator right there, it's still got a little bit of trash in it, but it's not as bad. I just, the main reason I'm doing all this is I'm trying to save this motor if I could save it. I hate to see the cam bearings, and well, the cam bearings I'm not so worried about. Also don't spin nothing, but I just hate to see the crank in this thing, because the crank journal is probably about shot. So hopefully don't spin a bearing in it. Hopefully not, but trying to do all this work to save this old 302 if I can, and eventually I'll, it's already bored 30 over, so I'm not going to do so much to it. But I went ahead and set it top dead center. I set our distributor in. I got lined up with number 1 cylinder on our cap right here. So all that's been lined up. Where's number 1 at? Where's it at? There it is, right there. So hard to see. There it is. Right there. At least on the Fords are numbered. I got all that done. Everything's lined up. I made sure I had to pull it back out and move it over about a couple teeth. I did a couple times. That way I can get retard or advance it enough. Because before, you know, if you gotta keep retarding the time or advancing it, it won't go but so far because it's hitting this water neck and this intake here. So I tried to do it so that way you get plenty of advance and retard in it. So it should be really close. If not, I can always pull it back out. Ain't nothing a big deal. Pull it back out. I went ahead and eventually later on, once we get this thing running, I'm gonna check it out, make sure temperature don't get too hot, and make sure we got oil pressure and all that good stuff. Make sure, you know, it sounds okay and it's running better and all that. If it's running better, we'll go to the next step here, and then I'm gonna take and pull this front end off this thing. We'll take and go ahead and seal up our timing cover down there. We'll throw a water pump on it. We'll throw a balancer on it, because that balancer's about had it. It's sealed when it's about gone. And then I'll probably take and throw a timing set on it just for the heck of it. I hate to waste time doing the timing set without replacing the cam and lifters, because anytime you do that, you really just, I mean, you don't want to throw another cam and lifters in it, and it ain't gonna hurt nothing. But anyway, I'm gonna replace that water pump, and then that'll be where we're at. It's definitely got a lot of slop in the timing chain, so